In July 1980, Echo and the Bunnymen released their debut album, Crocodiles, on Korova, and from it, the track Pictures on My Wall.
Can you hear it? The sound of something burning, something changing on the merry-go-round tonight. Pictures on my wall are about to swing and fall. Love it. Oh, love it. Should have got it right. We should have got it right tonight. People gonna count everyone. Faces burning, hearts beating. Nowhere left for us to run. Pictures on my wall.
Okay, and that was Pictures on My Wall by Echo and the Bunnymen. It began with this one-note bass line and this thin strum in A minor. This kind of low in the mix, this staccato harmonic note on every 2 of 4, that bum, bum, like, and then during the chorus, we heard this really luminous synth that came in, which I really think was the active element of this track. Something that's kind of missing from the album overall. It makes this track stand out. Kind of a tone that you could have heard like on that Dalek Eye album or on some of Orchestral Maneuvers in the Darks, their output from like 1980. To think of like two fellow Liverpudlian acts of this time frame. From both, all three of them from that second wave of Liverpool. Yeah, that luminous, thin synth sustain under the chorus line, and then I guess the ultimate moment of the album, that those echoey layers and sometimes explosive effects that underscored the "Love It All" refrain, where Ian McCulloch stretches out the vowels for effect. And he sang in a real full, rich vocal, exceptional for him as a vocalist at this stage. It's something I didn't, because as a vocalist, I didn't really think he came into his own until like around the time of Porcupine. This being an exception, like an early indicator of his promise. And then the song also had that intensified metal, and that pretty much sums it up. Let's see what this was getting at lyrically. Can you hear it? The sound of something burning, something changing on the merry-go-round tonight. The pictures on my wall are about to swing and fall. Love it all. Oh, we should have got it right. Oh, we should have got it right tonight. People come, I count everyone, faces burning, hearts beating, no one left for us to run. The pictures on my wall are about to swing and fall, love it all. Oh, we should have got it right. Can you hear it? The sound of someone thinking on the merry-go-round tonight. The pictures on my wall are about to swing and fall, love it all. Okay, my initial interpretation was that it was about a growing distance between two people and like a disappointing meetup of things going cold and the two people in a picture about to go their separate ways. Another interpretation is that it's more about people in power who ultimately fall from power and the chaos that ensues. Yeah, particularly perhaps in more authoritarian societies where they worship their leaders or they're forced to in a way. They're like where framed pictures of a leader are household fixtures above people's fireplaces and are living room fixtures. Anyway. This song was originally released as a single in 1979 when Echo and the Bunnymen were a three-piece without a drummer. They used a pedal instead. That was called Echo was the name of the pedal they used, the beatbox. And then, they were joined by their fourth member, the late, great Pete Freitas, and re-recorded it, for their 1980 album Crocodiles. And like a lot of 80s kids, mid-80s kids anyway, I first got into this band via the Songs to Learn and Sing compilation. And at the time, I was most taken by the stuff in the middle to late portion of the album, like the 1983-84 stuff. I thought some of the early stuff was kind of just them finding their feet, baby steps and all. When I got more into the albums, I was thinking this is far and away the best track on the album, much more powerful than Rescue or Do It Clean, and yet they didn't include it, and I was wondering why. That synth element gives this track a more of a fullness that's lacking in some of these other tracks. I like the puppet quite well as an early song, but it had been before I even got into the album. Some people said, "Oh, well, you gotta hear those albums front to back because they're not well. The first two albums are not well represented by that compilation." Yeah, when I was a teenager and such. Before I had come to the realization around the age of 16 that compilations are not the way to go. That if you're going to be a serious collector and such, Anyway. Let's hear another track from this album. This one, a true deep cut, Pride.
Mother says, sister says, mind if I laugh at you? Mind if I sing with you? Daddy says, brother says. sing with you. Daddy says, brother says, make us proud of you. Do something we can't do. Do it, do it, do it, do it.
And that was Pride by Echo and the Bunnymen. And it began with a slashing, rigid, a couple of rigid chordal strikes, followed by sort of a vibrato one. Akin the Gang of Four, yeah, on the guitar. And then after a few vocal lines, switches to the key of C for that bridge, with that the ultimate kind of like active ingredient of the track, that xylophone that comes in, yeah, adding a bit of tonal color here. Things passed by me so fast as I was taking notes, the spinning open cadence middle section was another distinct change in this track. And then on the third verse, drop out to just the bass line, with McCulloch doing one of his more impressive vocals on the album. His voice given some echo on certain words and such. A bit more of that xylophone touch, particularly as some of the other instruments dropped out. And then a bit of like guitar twitchiness here and there. And then everything just kind of recapitulating for that final fade out, all over and done in about 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Yeah, another track they recorded twice. Let's see where things went on this. Mother says, sister says, would you mind if we laugh at you? Do you mind if we sing with you? Daddy says, brother says, make us proud of you. Do something we can't do. Do it, do it, do it. John waits, Barry hates. I think I'm heading for a fall. They hope I'm heading for a fall. Peter says, Julie says, I think it's time you stop stalling. We think it's time you start falling, fall. Mother says. Sister says, do you mind if we laugh at you? Mind if we sing with you? Daddy says, brother says, make us proud of you. It seems to be about being like the black sheep of a family, about trying to find pride within yourself while being kind of weighed down by others' expectations. A quick search doesn't bring up anyone trying to take these lyrics apart, but one person asked on one of the lyric sites whether it was about Ian himself, whether this may have been about his own household growing up and his relationship to his parents and siblings, not knowing much about his upbringing or anything. Anyway, yeah, Echo and the Bunnymen, Pride, and before that, Pictures on My Wall, arguably the two best songs on their 1980 debut album, Crocodiles, released that year on Corova in the UK with 5 tracks, and then released later that year on Sire with 6 tracks. Yeah, actually, Do It Clean was dropped from the UK version because of some misinterpretations of the lyrics. Yeah, and the lineup at this point, well, the classic lineup anyway: Ian McCulloch guitar, vocals, piano; Will Sargent lead guitar; Pattinson bass; Pete DeFreitas drums, and let's see here who. I guess Pete DeFreitas plays xylophone on Pride, even though they don't mention it in the credits. Yeah. Anyway, Echo and the Bunnymen, a band that would go on to release 4 albums between 1980 and 1984, reaching their artistic peak, you could say, with the 1983-84 albums, Porcupine and Ocean Rain. And they always had really beautiful covers, too. Like this cover for Crocodile, it's obviously got some lighting under these trees with different colored lighting beaming at them. But yeah, it's this like in the dark. Yeah, like um, and Ian McCulloch has his really kind of innovative hairdo for the time, kind of like a post-punk bouffant. Yeah, that just a few frontmen of the era would cultivate. Robert Smith being another, in a few years anyway. He wasn't doing it this early though. Terry Hall, after he left the Specials and formed Fun Boys 3 with like circa 1982, 83. And then Roddy Frame of Aztec Camera, kind of on and off, sported that look, yeah. Anyway, for more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of Echo and the Bunnymen, see the directory of albums by English E artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard. The instrumentation, the lyrics, yeah, if you have any other interpretations that I may have missed to those, yeah, I'd be glad to hear about those. And the arrangements, the interplay and all that, the little different sections and musical touches and sonic effects. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled Trim Maximalist, signing off.